Hi, everyone. We've been spending the last week and a half at our home in Montreat. And so on Sunday, it was a special delight to be in this place as I listened to the youth lead us in worship. And so many of them spoke of the importance of Montreat in their own faith development, the memories, and the things they had learned about themselves and about God and God's world through conferences here in the summers. I also paid attention when they spoke about how important Trinity as a church has been in forming and shaping them for life in God's world. It's a reminder of the important call we have to be a congregation where we do foster the faith across generations. I'm so grateful, along with you, for our youth and the stellar way they led us in worship and the stellar ways in which they will be leading the church and the world now and in the years to come. This week, I wanted to bring you an update from our COVID task force, and I'll begin it with part of a poem from Mary Oliver. I'm another pastor who finds her poems very meaningful. This poem is called The Return. Mary Oliver writes this: "When I went back to the sea, it wasn't waiting, neither had it gone away. All its musics were safe and sound. The circling gulls were still a commonplace. The fluted shells rolled on the shore, more beautiful than money. Oh, yes, more beautiful than money. The thick-necked seals stood in the salted waves with their soft, untroubled faces gazing shoreward. Oh, bed of silk, lie back now on your prairies of blackness, your fields of sunlight, that I may look at you. I am happy to be home." This poem, The Return, I think speaks volumes to us who all long to return to familiar routines, to return to our church that we love so much. Your COVID task force continues to meet for almost 3 hours every Wednesday night, talking about data, sharing best practices we have gleaned, talking about the implications and the necessities that we will need to attend to in order for it to be safe for us to be together again. The reality is a vaccine is needed for us to be truly safe. Yet we are steadily making progress. As you know, several weeks ago, the TELC returned to operations, and it's been going very well. Children and teachers alike and their parents are all finding safe ways to be together. We are so grateful for the care they took and their work with the task force as they sought to reopen. Now we're working with the TPP, and they anticipate holding their summer camps for 3 weeks in August. The staff was set to return to work in their offices this past 2 weeks. But after week 1, because we were phasing in our office staff again, we decided to hit the pause button, largely in response to the rising numbers of COVID cases in Georgia, but also because Mayor Lance Bottoms was reminding us that we might need to step back just a bit. Our workspaces are safe. We feel good about the protocols we have put in place, and so the staff will be returning in early August to their offices while they continue to work at home for now, as we have been doing. We are looking forward to being together again as a staff, and we're going to be enjoying still meeting by Zoom, probably even when we're across the hall from one another. We are trying to make progress toward other goals, like being able to host meetings for committees and small groups back in the church again. We don't know exactly when that will be in place, but the task force is actively discussing this right now. Worship, of course, remains the goal that seems the farthest off, and yet we continue to discuss that as well. In the meantime, I continue to be grateful for the ways in which you continue to support Trinity, not only with your emails and phone calls to us, but with your financial stewardship of the church, and also by tuning in to our midweek messages, Norman's extraordinary music for healing and hope, and for our worship services. Thank you for your continued patience and diligence. We pray that everyone is staying safe and well, and we look forward to providing more information this next week about the COVID task force and our hopes for the future weeks that are to come. We also look forward to engaging in some of our needed interim work in the month of August, and I'll be telling you more about that next week. Take care, everyone, and have a wonderful weekend.